Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Topic today is going to be on the Gestalt Theory. And Gestalt is one of the principles that is very close to our heart, especially when we are designers and in the art world. And it is a psychology term and is where people tend to organize visual elements into groups or unified wholes. Meaning here, imagine you're looking at a painting. Instead of seeing one blue strokes or one red strokes, you're seeing it as an image of something, the whole picture. And that's what Gestalt Theory is all about. And it is how our brain naturally groups everything together to make sense of the world, to make sense of what we see. Okay, so there are general rules of the Gestalt Theory, and it is when items will be viewed in the most basic form. Okay, so it's something to do with our brain thinking. And if you look at the image here, the roads is looking as if it's in a circle, and human naturally follows line or curves. We see as the road, you need to go in around the roundabout and so on. Okay, and the Gestalt Theory is about how our mind attempt to fill in the details, and that's something that isn't actually there. So if you look at the picture of this panda, how would you know that it's a panda? Because the lines are not connected, but our brain made it seem like it's a panda, and the way that the lines or the forms are creatively constructed made it seem like a panda. Okay, so basically, according to the Gestalt psychology, the whole is different from some of its parts. So looking at the entire image, even though the elements are different, but as a whole, it makes sense. It makes sense that this is an image of a person's head, and the person on the right, the blue, represent the person of a male, and the person on the left with the pink color represent the female. Okay, and the Gestalt theories were based on these philosophers, and the names are as shown. And whilst there are several principles that Gestalt theory defines, here are the main ones that you should focus on. Okay, there's continuation, similarity, closure, proximity, symmetry, figure, and ground. I'm going to explain each and every one of these Gestalt principles. I say, okay, so continuation occurs when the eye is compelled to move through one object and continue to one another. So this is often used in graphic, in logos, and so on. So if you look at the image here, the G for Gestalt, your eyes is moving from the curve of a C and up towards the image of leaf-like, and your brain will naturally think that is the letter G. So continuation means that something keeps going or carries on without stopping, and in this case the letter G is keeps going and it stops at the leaf, even though the lines does not connect, but your brain sees it as the letter G. And there are a lot of logos using these continuation techniques, such as this Amazon. So one of the interesting thing about Amazon logos is that it wants the audience to know that it's selling everything from A to Z, even though it seems like a smile over here, but the hidden meaning is saying that when you buy things from Amazon, you can get anything because it's complements item from the letter A until Z. Okay, so if you don't know, Amazon is this like online buying, shopping kind of tool, just like Shopee in Malaysia. Okay, if you look at the logo here, mask, the designer has managed to made the A, rotating it to the side and making it look like a mask. And even though we know that the letter is rotated 90 degrees, 180 degrees, but still your brain can see it as a mask, and the A is beautifully crafted in a mask image. And this logo here, raw, the neatness of the lion in the middle makes it interesting, and this is part of the Gestalt Theory USA, again, this logo. And another logo, a cat, even though the CAT is not connected, and even though the cat is not does not have any lines, but our brain sees it as a whole. We do not see it as a just a colored half circle or a just one line here. We see it as a letter and as an image of the cat. So another example, a bear, and our eyes naturally follows edges, lines, and form. So in continuation, our lines will follow. It will naturally follow. So being a designer, you need to know, or you need to, when you understand the Gestalt theory, your work will be more meaningful, and it's easier for people to appreciate your product or your artwork. Okay, another important element is closure. So closure occurs when an element is incomplete or space is not totally enclosed. So if enough of the space is indicated or hinted at, the viewer will subconsciously fill in the missing information. Okay, so closure, for example, in E here, even though there is no line on the left showing that it's an E, our mind is automatically making this invisible thoughts in our brain saying that it's the letter E, because we know that it's the word Gestalt. So our brain will automatically make it see like the letter E. Again, I'm going to show the picture of panda again, because the closure of the black color make it look like a panda. And EA sport, even though the line here, the E line is not connected, you know that it's from the letter E. And the logo here, the hand is showing like it's holding a bulb, and inside the bulb there's a plant. Even though all of these are not connected, our brain made it look like it's a whole image, and it's not just one hand, a plant and a bulb. You see as a hand holding a bulb, and inside the bulb there's a plant. And on the right here, the logo of movers, beautifully crafted finger, mimicking the image of a house. And this logo is trying to say that it provides business of helping people to move their items from one place to another place, maybe because they want to, they move houses or something. And this football, there's no circle, but our brain made it think that it's a football. Or this aeroplane. And another famous brand is Adidas. And this beautifully crafted zebra. I'm gonna show you a lot of examples, because in the design world, or in our world, it's easier for our eyes to see visual, and this will easily help you to remember things. Okay, so another cool thing about this Gestalt theory, when you know how to play with the closure and the similarity and all of these elements, you're able to make writing or font become very interesting and very nice to look at. And this is something that is nice and will help people to appreciate the beauty of your work. And again, I'm going to say that Gestalt theory is when our minds naturally seek to fill in the blanks. So even though there's no you or R, we can see that it's our. And over here, naturally, even though there's a line missing here, our brain are able to pick up and read the letterings. Another item in Gestalt theory is similarity. So similarity is like when you have two things that are almost alike. So imagine you have two apples, and one is green, one is red. Even though they have different colors, but the shape is the same. You know that it's an apple. And the similarity can be in colors or in shapes, or they can be both. So for example, in this Gestalt word, the S and the letter T is similar because of the color and the font used, or the letter shape used. Okay, and for example, these curves, the similarity of these blue curves made it seem like a water or a river or a flow of water. And the Girl Scout logo, the images of this women face when placed close to each other made it seem like there's a couple of girls, but then again it's just one simple line, two simple lines, the NBC logo. And if you look closely, this is actually a picture of a peacock using the peacock color, and it just added a little bit of the peacock face. So Chanel, the letter C, when it is rotated and reflected, it made this very beautiful piece of art. And another thing about similarity, when you put it close together and you randomly or systematically placing it into a part of design, this is going to make your work more outstanding. And another example is the logo. And sometimes when you rearrange the letterings and the images into a beautiful piece of an object, it will create a piece of beauty. And in this case, the poster is showing is showing information about their project on Hangout Music Festival, and they've used fingers or hand to be at the top, and the letterings and different elements combining together, making our brain see it as a guitar or maybe an ukulele, I don't know, but it's some sort of a musical instrument. And another thing about similarity, even though all of these are circles, but when it is placed in groups and colors, our brain made it see like there's 6 blue circles and 8 blue oranges, 1 straight line of pink circles, and a square of or goldish circle. And even though there isn't a big bird, but our brain made it seem like it's a big bird carrying a fish. So this is the Gestalt Theory, making small size images into a whole big picture. And sometimes you can see the differences in the orientation, or you can change the color or the tone, and you can even play with different sizes, but still your brain will notice that it's an inverted V. You will still think that it's in the same grouping because of the nature of our brain. So the next element is anomaly. To make an easy example is like this. You are finding something out of the ordinary, and if you look at the image here, the cubes, automatically your eyes will be drawn into that blue square or blue cube with an angry face. Because of this, it's different color and different expression. So when objects are similar, another object can be emphasized if it is different to the others. And this is another similarity principle, and that usually it doesn't fit in the entire process. Okay, for example, the V letter that I've just talked about, and this time there's a circle, so automatically you will know that it's not normal. The circle shouldn't be there, but then again, it's something interesting to look at. That's the beauty of the circle. It made the entire picture more interesting to look at. All right. So the element is alignment. You can change the alignment of the V or add a different shape, or you can distort here, meaning that instead of making it straight, you will put it in slightly in different angle, and so on. Or you can add different extra marks to make it more different from the other images. Okay, this is something for fun. Even though all the soldiers are wearing the same clothes, but the abnormal soldier yawning made this picture interesting. So when you are thinking of creating a product or an object or anything, try to have this anomaly to make your work interesting, and this will beautify your product, and at the end people will appreciate your work even more. So the next Gestalt Theory principle is the proximity. So proximity occurs when elements are placed close to each other. In this example, the letter T, the blocks or the squares are placed close to each other, making it seem like the letter T. And as a good example is we tend to see things in groupings, and in this case we will let our brain see the sameness in the lines here, and even though there's leaf or the grass, we can see that it is a proximity. The lines, the allocation of and the distance of the lines allow our brain to see it as an image, a reindeer or the Unilever logo. The construction of different elements making it seems like is the letter U, and U is the icon for Unilever, the U in Unilever. And just an extra information, Unilever is a brand selling a couple of items, something like Amazon, but this is a brand selling, if you look, there's a spoon saying that they provide food, and if you look, there's a leaf saying that they provide plants, and there's a lot of icons here saying that they are providing many different elements in their product. And this poster here, the Coca-Cola, saying that drinking Coca-Cola will make you happy, which is, to be honest, don't drink Coca-Cola, it's not good for your health. And the Adidas, the placement of the lines, the spacing make it very prominent in design. And this arrow, the placement of the arrow making it seem like a star. And if you are a product designer, you can play along with sticks, and by placing it in a precise manner, it will create a stunning and a very sturdy chair or a stool in this case. So basically, usually in logos, they use proximity in creating their logo, and here are examples of it. And another element of the Gestalt theory is symmetry. So symmetry is when one side is the same as the other side. If you look at the letter A here, it is cut into half, but then again when reflected it is the same. And the position of this element helps to portray a relationship between two separate parts. So they will have a strong bond, and the opposite is also true. For example, if you look here, the face is the same element, but when it is placed in symmetry, it will create a butterfly. Okay, so the Wolverine, this cool designer made a Batman face, and by putting it in symmetry, it creates Wolverine. So is it two Batman or is it a Wolverine? So it makes the audience or the people who see your work wonders, and this is something you should consider when creating a product or a design. The flight finder, F is for flight, but it is carefully and neatly crafted to resemble the shape of a flight. And the last element is the figure or ground. So our eyes differentiate an object from its surrounding, and a form or shape is perceived as a figure, while the surrounding area is perceived as a ground. Okay, the letter L here. So our eyes can differentiate the straightness and the curves, but we are able to see it as the letter L because of this cool balancing figure. And sometimes rules are made to be broken. And for example, the designer here created this Batman, but then again, when you flip the poster, it will look like the villain. Is it Robin or something? I forgot about the villain's name. And this is something that you should look into. And this is a poster about 2 seconds to spot or 2 seconds too late. Meaning here, it's like someone's trying to choke another person just by playing with black colorings. You can make a very strong image and to portray strong information. An image of a black line with red coloring, showing that intimacy is in progress. And this is an image of a warship. I forgot if it's in World War I or II, but the designer here uses lines because they would want the enemy to be unable to see the distance between the ship and themselves. So the lines helps to provide illusion, making it seems like it's too far or it's too close. And when you are designing something, one of a key element is using lines, because lines have many hidden meanings. And this photograph, it shows of a tree, but our mind is making it look like a face of some sort of maybe a woman. And this designer made the strawberry jar looking like a strawberry, even though it's a glass jar, but the shape allows our brain to think that it is a strawberry jar. Okay, so in sum, the Gestalt theory is about how our mind organizes things we see or experience. So instead of seeing individual parts, our mind will help it looking at the bigger picture. Okay, so it's like when you're looking at a bunch of dots or a bunch of letterings, our brain is making sense of the lettering. For example, the Gestalt, even though the placement is out of the ordinary, but with the help of the blue lines, our mind are able to grasp everything and allow us to read and see the bigger picture, the Gestalt theory. Okay, our brain makes connection. It allows you to see it as a whole, and this is important because it allows us to see things as a whole and not some of its parts. If you look at a person, and that person is wearing a very nice clothing, but then again the character of the person is something that is unpleasing, and that should be avoided. And you need to think, when you are making judgment, look at it as a whole, not as a part of itself. So in short, Gestalt is about making sense of things that is not actually there. You are seeing things, and you as a designer need to help people see things beautifully and easily. Okay, that's all for today, and good luck in everything that you do. Goodbye.